Well, 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 no fancy intro this week. It's a very, very sad day on. What are we doing? Oh, Federation Friday. Hey, Guardian, can we do that again?
I don't know if I
It
can
is-
jump that fast because he plays it back in one speed.
Yeah. So we are talking the Guardian of Forever episode. It is the city on the edge of forever. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is the penultimate? Is that a word? Is that used in the right way?
It's up there.
Is
It's
it the
up
best one ever?
So, my personal feelings, it's definitely in the top 3 of all Star Trek. It's been voted number 88 on the list of all-time greatest TV episodes ever, which is pretty impressive. And I think it still holds up. It's just a remarkable little hour of television that really kind of blows you away. And even though I've seen it 100 times, that ending still hits you like a ton of bricks.
Now, is it one of those that you feel has some plot holes in it? Some questions that are like, okay, why?
Yeah. So there are a couple of things, and like I'll come out and say it. So Spock is building what exactly, and how is he able to see information from 2 different timelines? That just takes me out of the episode. I have no idea how he's doing it or how he's accomplishing it without a real computer from both timeline, or maybe it is 2 time zones. I have to be careful. Every time I say computer, the Alexa is going to go off and ask me what I want.
Yeah, mine does that too.
Yeah. So to me, that's a bit of a plot hole. I'll overlook it for story. There are some other concerns here and there, but generally tight. When you consider how this episode started out, right? This episode is credited to Harlan Ellison, one of the great writers of science fiction I think we're all familiar with. Harlan was just a cranky SOB in real life. Fought with everybody, burned bridges everywhere he could. And what aired is in no way close to the script that he wrote. I think when you do an analysis, there are 2 lines that are spoken by the Guardian that were in his original script, and that's it. And just to give you a little breakdown, where is it? How the show was originally written. A brief description. And if you want to see it, there are a bunch of great books out there that actually will give you the original teleplay as written, and a really good graphic novel from IDW that does the entire episode in graphic novel format. So breakdown is, it wasn't McCoy, and it wasn't an accidental overdose. It is someone on the Enterprise who's dealing illicit substances. And for years, Roddenberry would go around telling people we couldn't do his script. He had Scotty dealing drugs. It was not Scotty. It was just some crew member. He goes down. He screws up the timeline. And it was written in such a way, it would have made a great $20 million movie in this day and age, but there's no way they were going to do it on Star Trek's budget. The city was like super huge and expansive. There were ancient people who controlled the Guardians. At one point, they beam back to the Enterprise, but there's no Enterprise. It's now a pirate ship called the Condor. So there was a lot of stuff that was involved, which they kind of liked that idea, and they saved it for the Mirror Universe. So there were a lot of ideas that kind of got thrown out, and generally it's accepted that this script that you see here in the final format was done by DC Fontana, who was one of the guiding lights of Star Trek from its inception all the way up through Voyager. That said, Cranky Harlan tried to get his name taken off of it and use his pseudonym, which I love this pseudonym.
Cranky Ellison.
Cordwainer Bird, which he used to use to put out on products which he was disowning himself from and felt he was treated unfairly on. So it was a well-known secret who Cordwainer Bird was. Roddenberry fought him on it. Long story short, Ellison wins a Writers Guild Award for this episode.
And the award goes to Cordwainer Bird.
He wouldn't talk about it for years. Anytime he did, it was just disparagingly and just a real hatred of Gene for what he did to his script. And I've read the teleplay and I've read the graphic novel. Some of the themes are there, but again, radically different. Personally, I think what we got on screen was an improvement. I like the fact that it was McCoy because it invests Spock and Kirk more in that search.
Right. To go find their friend.
Yeah, to go find their friend. I like the fact that they didn't have to beam up to some strange ship, that the Enterprise was just gone. I mean, to me, that's more jarring than anything else. They're stuck there. So that adds another dimension of we have to be successful in this mission.
Now, the thing that took me out of the episode was McCoy finally shows up, and well, first thing, I mean, it was like last week with the guy yelling, "Kill, kill, kill, kill 5 times, kill, 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 kill."
5 times, yes.
And now he's yelling, murderers, assassins. Where does does that hypo spray just like make you paranoid?
I had stepped out to the kitchen when that happened, so I totally missed the part where he got injected. I just thought it was McCoy being McCoy. So yeah, 2 drops. It's a stimulant. So he went on a trip. And what's amazing is I didn't remember until I sat down for this watching, and maybe it was because it's in HD, the makeup effects that they did on his face, like the blotchiness. I don't remember that ever as a kid. It must have been just a low definition Channel 11. But
right.
I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, so McCoy goes absolutely bonkers, thinks people are chasing him, but decides to stop because the coffee smells good.
Right. That's another thing that threw me. I mean, if you could just wait 24 hours after a cup of coffee, wake up and be fine, why didn't they just strap him down in the Enterprise?
Well, he did take off pretty fast, and I have to say, McCoy showed some real judo skills there. That
was a waist shoulder.
Yeah. That so far has blown Kirk Fu out of the water. Yeah, so again, we have no guards on this transporter room, and the lone tech in there always gets taken out. Why don't we get those guys helmets?
Well, see, now that brings me back to the comment you said where Ellison actually wanted someone dealing drugs. Why couldn't it have been this transporter tech? Because this guy's getting beat up every week, so he's got to be on some kind of painkiller.
Yeah, it's true.
He's always getting whacked in the head and dropped on the ground.
Yeah.
Of course he's the oxy dealer on the ship.
Yeah. He eventually gets relieved of duty due to what is it, NFL disease, concussion disorder. again, we kind of lean on somebody escapes through the transporter. Last week it was Lazarus, right? Or the week before it last, it was Lazarus. I still have my bandage here. I think it's still an effective episode, and what really draws me into it is the acting across the board. Phenomenal. D got to, spread his wings a little bit with the, drug overdose. I think Shatner, just that last scene alone, it just kills me. It just kills me. Might be the best thing he ever, the best 10 seconds of his career was when he's holding back with his eyes closed like that. It just gets me every time.
Yeah, and the like you say, everybody was. Joan Collins was amazing.
And what a missed opportunity as I was rewatching this. Because Joan Collins, by 1994, was still acting. So when Generations came around, who should have been in that cabin with Kirk? Not Faceless Antonia, whoever the hell that was. His nexus should have been being reunited with Edith Keeler.
Yeah.
And that alone, I think, would have been more plot development for him to realize that this really isn't real and come to the recognition that he's got to go back. But I think it was just tremendous missed opportunity. They worked so well together.
Deb, what are your thoughts on this episode? When did you see this? When it originally aired, or is it one of those that caught later on? Is it one of your favorites?
Yeah, I think I remember. Of course, I'm so old I don't remember correctly, but from my memory, I watched it when it originally came out, and this has always been one of my favorite episodes. Yeah, it has flaws, but shit, what show doesn't? What movie doesn't? But yeah, for this season alone, this is my number one. Space Seed's number two.
I think you're right on the money, and I think a close third for me would be Balance of Terror. I think those are my top three from season one. So they're investigating these time disturbances.
Well, I want to know, why is the transporter focused
At the center
on the center of the disturbance?
Because
That's where all the power is.
Concussions. That's why.
Because what?
The tech has had multiple concussions. That's why. Judgment is, I guess, in case they were going down to investigate it, they would probably not want to walk.
Oh, so you're saying that McCoy set the transporter to the center.
It could be McCoy, but again, for a guy who hates transporters,
yeah, he hopped in there pretty quick. He must have been on drugs.
Yeah, 2 buttons and move the sliders up. Unless the transporter room had locked onto it, with expecting a landing party to beam down. Here's Uhura looking like she's about to sneeze.
I gotta
it's
say,
nice to see her beam down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is her first time.
Now, is she there? Is she there because they get stranded and they needed someone to say, "I'm frightened," and Scotty wouldn't, like, you couldn't have Scotty go, "Captain, I'm frightened."
I'll give you a hug. Let me hold you for a few seconds. No, that probably wouldn't have worked in 1969. And here it is. The most powerful donut in the universe.
That's it. You know what? He goes through the donut and then needs a coffee.
Well, you know, you have a little donut, you want a little something to wash it down with. I think this is an effective set. I actually kind of like the minimalistic take on it, that it is really surrounded by ruins and everything is pretty much destroyed except for that one column in the Guardian.
Now, I saw theories online saying that the Guardian could possibly be Q technology before they became, what would you, corporeal? Is it corporeal? Is that the word? Non-corporeal.
You know, maybe, or just or maybe it's just such an ancient race. I mean, if you look at the planet looks like it's been devastated by something, whether it's war or natural disaster. I kind of like the fact that it's a mystery of who they are, and the fact that he says, I've been here since before your stars burned, which would put him on the extreme ancient order of things. So, I mean, this is something primal and something that may have existed since the very beginning of time. And this is the same effect you get when you do the hot wax on your car.
And McCoy is really whacked out on whatever this...
Cordrazine.
Is that a real thing?
It is not. I was hoping to find a parody commercial. You know, don't take Cordrazine if you believe murderers and assassins are chasing you. Cordrazine may cause extreme eye bulging and screaming. And of course, the old standby, don't take Cordrazine if you're allergic to it. Well, how would I know I'm allergic to it unless I took it?
If you do take too much Cordrazine, please consult your local Dunkin' Donuts.
I need 250 cc's of dark milk now. This man's got extreme Cordrazine poisoning.
Give him an espresso shot.
And now the Guardian of stock footage, forever, starts playing a lot of clips from Paramount's film library.
Now, does the donut light up?
It does when it's
in the originals.
Yes. Suppose it was too much trouble to go back and colorize that footage inside the smoke, but just trying to give you the authentic experience. And Spock, again, is like, oh, I forgot to do something. Let me start recording this. Thank you, science officer. And McCoy is through the looking glass.
So this is another thing. They come up with the brilliant idea of going back to before the accident happens.
Yeah, there was a whole deleted scene where Spock finds a whiteboard and brings it over to explain how it skews off into an alternate 1930s, but it got cut for time.
But doesn't that right there create an alternate? So are we going Back to the Future or Avengers?
They're well, a little bit of both. So they're going back to stop what changed, which means you're changing what changed. So do two wrongs make a right? I guess with time travel it does. And now the Guardian just lays it out. You're screwed.
And then Kirk asks if all his HR violations are gone too.
He's got a clean record.
I thought this shot was awesome.
Isn't that a great shot?
Where they like everything's gone. There's no Enterprise up there anymore. And then it's a close up, and then it just pans right up to the stars. Is that original, or was that changed?
That's completely original, and it gave me such Twilight Zone vibes because they would sometimes do that sort of effect.
And then this was pretty cool too, because normally you'd see the Enterprise here, and now you don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Now back to the History Channel. So luckily Spock was recording, so now we can go back, look at the tape, and like the guy who figured out the tic-tac-toe board, figure out exactly when they've got to whammy through to and they're close. They get there within a couple of days. And what I love in the DS9 episode, do you remember when Kira and O'Brien were beaming through different time zones to find Cisco and Dax when they were sent back in time? There's a knockoff poster, same two guys, in the background saying their first rematch since Madison Square Garden.
Really? So they're a little bit. They come in a little bit after this.
But yeah, they come in a little bit after this. Yeah, and now we're back in Mayberry.
And here we have the first. Well, double dumbass on you.
Does that say MAGA by his head?
It does.
Wow, somebody screwed up the timeline. And oddly enough, we wind up in the same alley with the same fire escape, which the security guards had all the stuff dropped on them in the episode Miri.
Oh, okay. Now, those 19... But where are we? 30...
We're in the height of the Depression, so I think around 33-ish.
So are those 1933 electrical poles?
They don't appear to be. The wires look a little bit... But nice catch.
And I'm watching this and I'm listening to the music and I'm going, geez, they took that music from somewhere. I wonder what that music's from. So I rewound it and listened to it again. I'm like, man, that is so familiar. What music is that? And then by the fifth time I went, oh, that's the main theme.
Oh, the whimsical version of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that bright. So now Spock is Chinese.
Mm-hmm. We're just throwing that on with the HR violations for when we get back.
Yeah. I will make a note of that, Captain.
Spock's like, here we go. Now, interestingly enough, now I don't know if the cop would wear his gun on the outside of his jacket, but this cop has got no gun that I can see. And
Well,
here
I
we
like
are.
I like the
running
old, your wife let you go out dressed like that ploy.
Yes. Well, it had been invented in 1933, so it was brand new to them. So here, in the next slide that you just went to, we're now on the planet Archon. The Return of the Archons. This is where they ran down that alley and fired their phasers when they were being chased.
And everybody watching them in their pajamas.
Yeah, standing out like a sore thumb, right?
Now we're in the basement from Home Alone.
I thought it looked familiar. And the director yelled, I need more cobwebs. More cobwebs.
I really like the banter between Kirk and Spock in this episode.
I love the look on his face right after that line, Deb. And just kind of like the side eye, like,
It was great. What?
Spock looks like he just sat on something he wasn't supposed to. And love the fact that every time they shoot her, it's with the soft lens, that glow.
Yeah, that's the Madeline Hayes filter.
Yeah. And, you watch this and you wonder why Joan Collins wasn't a bigger star in her prime, like from the late 50s through the 60s. She should have been much bigger than she was. She really only hit it big in the 80s when she was on Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, she was considered a has-been. But I'll tell you the truth, anything I've seen her in, she was always really good.
She's Edith Keeler. Now, do you think she's one of the most recognizable, other than, of course, Khan? She one of the most recognizable character names in.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. Maybe Harry Mudd, just because he's a two-timer, might be up there. But from the original series, yeah, absolutely. What I would have given for just one stifle at Edith in this episode, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. It's so weird to hear somebody refer to him as Mr. Kirk. Oh, I should have worn my Chinese rice picking hat. Oh, well.
Well, that does damage to the ears.
I guess so here we are at the soup kitchen. And again, I thought they did a really nice job capturing the vibe of the 1930s. I assume it's accurate since I wasn't there, but You know, what the hell? And Gabby Hayes here, just walking in the middle of
Yeah, I was waiting for him to be like, oh, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, this guy just wandered over from lot 17 where Gunsmoke was filming.
Oh,
Yeah,
coffee over
and again, have no idea how this machine functions.
here. Well, as you can see, it has CDs,
Mm-hmm.
3 stacks of CDs,
Yeah, look at that.
playing the hits.
The first CD player in 1930. It actually looks
A
like
giant coil.
box. I don't even know what a mnemonic memory circuit is, but it sounds fancy.
It was named after this kid, Johnny.
Johnny, yeah, okay.
So Spock has either just broken out of prison or gotten off a ship.
Spock's like, I need 5 pounds of platinum. Side look that Kirk gives him, like, are you serious?
It's a good thing they didn't ask for transparent aluminum.
Oh, I'm afraid you're a number of years too early for that.
Here's a guy building a cuckoo clock.
And here's Spock at his Mission Impossible using his Super Vulcan hearing to pick a lock. Of course, with Vulcan strength, he probably could have just pulled it off, but now the flirting continues.
So do you think she felt the same way?
Oh, 100%. 100%. This is at its core a love story.
I guess she has a feeling that they don't belong.
She does. As Spock said, she, for lack of a better word, her intuition is like scary dead on. She nails the both of them when she sums it up with you.
Rephrase that.
Yeah. When she tells Spock, you stand there like you've always been at his side and always will. And you can even see Nimoy just kind of does like he's taken back by such an accurate analysis.
And it does look like there's something between them. And this is the one of 2 futures that we see.
The best Spock could do was create some kind of half-assed microfiche. So God bless his eyes and that he's only reading the headlines.
It's a mnemonic fiche.
Yeah. And it's interesting that they have this concept that she's this fixed point in time, which Doctor Who has used for quite a long time now, that there are certain fixed points in time that really can't be changed.
it's if she's a focal point in time, I it's kind of sad that they never went back. You know what I mean? To kind of where things happen, and in the past it's because you can either just mention her, or I don't know. It just would have been cool to always have if they know that she's a focal point,
Given Kirk's reputation, they're like, so your girlfriend changed the world and you want us to acknowledge it? Okay. And now you can read some of the below the headline that's saying in 1936 she'll be meeting with FDR. And I guess, like Spock said, it was the right thought at the wrong time, pushing for peace and staying out of the war. Even if they would just do a shout out and have like a Keeler class rescue operation ship, or something like that, would be kind of cool. It's weird. I had something very similar like that when I used to try and descramble cable.
Well, what I found, strangely familiar is building stuff on the edge of my bed, because that's where I built everything. At the Radio Shack, 101 experiment. I'm on the edge of the bed.
Wire kits, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, luckily in the 30s, everybody slept with asbestos sheets. So it was the miracle mineral that kept you warm.
And this is where Spock realizes Edith Keeler must die.
And there's the whole dilemma. We just don't know how McCoy is going to play into it yet, because we haven't seen McCoy in quite some time.
Right.
Apparently he had a stopover in 1962 and then had to transfer in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's always tough to get through Atlanta.
Well, the smoke cleared out of there pretty fast.
Now, is that a lamp or a major award on the...
No, I don't think he said it as a question. He meant it. Now, this is a great scene that, for some reason, in syndication, would always get chopped up.
How do you mean chopped up?
So you'd get the scene where McCoy comes through, he sees McCoy come through, and he starts to run, and he drops the bottle, and then he takes off. That's where that story ends. Next time we see McCoy, it's when he's looking for his hot cup of joe. There's in the scene that, if we watch it on Paramount Plus, McCoy catches up with him, trying to figure out what's going on, and then falls unconscious, and the guy takes the phaser, and the phaser overloads, and he disintegrates. For some reason, that whole sequence usually gets cut.
Really, where he vaporizes himself?
He vaporizes himself. Yeah, that gets cut. I don't know. I guess it's for time, and when you think about it, it doesn't really move the story forward. Although, I don't know why anybody hasn't gone back and said that guy getting vaporized caused even worse changes farther down the line in the future. But that's just me.
Yeah, that is true. That's one of those that you think, wouldn't that cause an issue?
Not if he had nothing to do with anything. I mean, he at this time he's just a homeless guy and stealing milk, and maybe that's how he dies too, so it doesn't really affect anything within the timeline.
Well, again, that's another thing that I thought about was Time's Arrow. And the Niners picking out people who really didn't have a future or
anything significant to the timeline. Yeah.
Right. Do you think that Time's Arrow episode borrowed from this?
Possibly. I would say any time travel episode they did would always kind of come back to this well. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the butterfly effect theory of time travel, where even the most insignificant change, you're technically living in a altered timeline. So, unless this guy was about to get murdered by the milkman at this very moment, yeah, it could cause a problem. Or did somebody in a second story window see something and then made it their life's work to find out what happened in that alley? There's so many different permutations of what this one incident could have caused. And that is the brightest lit doors I've ever seen. Everything else is in the dark except those doors, man. That hallway, they want you. They want to make sure you're seeing everything.
His old 4.5 fingers Freddy.
Night of the Living McCoy.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to run. When anybody says don't run, I won't kill you. I'm running no matter what.
I believe that's the universal warning to run.
Yeah.
And here she is spouting off her woke policies and thinking, and Kirk is just going gaga for her. Yeah, I didn't know what McCoy was doing.
You're a biped. That's not what my wife calls me.
You're in a friggin' alley with a homeless guy for his lower extremities. That was especially not accepted in 1930.
And then he's got to rate it. I mean, come on. The guy's homeless. Why do you have to insult him like that?
You talk about kicking a guy when they're down. And now he's returning the favor.
Now, what happened to McCoy? What did he just pass out, or did the guy hit him?
Yeah, fainted.
His coffee reserves were low.
Nice effect here too.
Yeah, and that's kind of what reminded me of the Times Arrow, is because that looks like the effect from the aliens.
The indigo glow aliens from there, yeah. Boy, somebody's been busy.
He's got a computer on top of a dresser, 16 light bulbs.
It's got the extension cord going through the window over the door.
Well, he's stealing the neighbor's cable, so
I guess so. Really, I thought he was going to wind up with like a stereotypical 1930s serial robot walking around by the time he was done. Jim, I'm sorry. There's just no way to get internet porn in this time. Must know what to do.
So there's a restaurant next to a photographer next to a barber shop.
Yeah, there's a lot of businesses in that. And here it is, the coffee that changes history. And of course, Spock is 10 feet away and doesn't notice.
Well, he walked in right after Kirk right after McCoy left.
Oh, I
And
thought
it
he
was one
in
of
the
those.
background and turned around. Yeah.
No. She walked McCoy out, and that's when Spock came in to take over barista duties.
Service with us? Oh, never mind. So now our God computer can tell us, exactly what happened.
I can only explain recent voice requests.
Not you. Thank you.
Of my actions. You can check the Alexa app for more information.
Computer, fire photon torpedoes.
Aye, aye, Captain. Firing photon torpedoes.
Thank you. So now they know they've got to intercept McCoy and stop him from doing whatever it is he does.
So he can see everything that happens for the next, I don't know, what is it, 9, 10 years?
Mhm.
But he
In both
can't see.
timelines. Yeah. That's a hell of a computer.
And there we have it. He's in love with Edith Keeler. And then back down to reality. Edith Keeler must die.
Through the door made of thunder, we fell out of line. Spock said it was madness, and Bones lost his mind. The stars all went silent, time fractured and bled, and I found her on Earth where the broken dreams tread.
I thought he was going to say a broken neck.
She spoke like a prophet in a mission hall light, with visions of futures where men do what's
Wait,
right.
that looks like
She
the
gave
album
bread
cover
to
for
the
this
hungry.
song.
She spoke to the poor, and I knew in one heartbeat what I was living for.
Jim Kirk's Lonely Hearts.
She laughed like a poem that the universe missed, with hope on her lips and peace in her fist. But Spock pulled me close, eyes colder than steel, said history's a river and she's blocking the wheel. He showed me the scroll of the world yet to be, where her dream of tomorrow would strangle the free. If she lives, we all die. If she dies, time survives. But I'd seen her soul shining in 10,000 lives. Oh, Edith Keeler, you burn like a star, but the fire in your heart won't carry too far. They said, Kirk, let her go, and I just stood by. 'Cause sometimes love means watching her die.
Wow, that's a great lyric. I wonder if Hallmark has a card that says that. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't give a crap.
So now, luckily, again, fixed point in time, McCoy and Keeler, start talking and chit-chatting, and, there is something special about her. Everybody who comes in contact with her seems to genuinely like her and trust her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the free coffee.
Do you have coffee? Now, wouldn't it have been cool to, like, later on find out that she was actually from the future and passed through the Guardian?
Yeah, there's so much potential there. Or my fan fiction where we find out she was actually a German spy sent to prevent FDR from joining the war, so she got what she had coming.
Well, that's dark.
There you go. You don't mess with the U.S.
That's Enterprise.
Yeah. And here's the romance blossoming, and you could just look. I mean, look at the look on his face. I mean, that's the way you play it. Like, he should be happy, but it's just pure devastation.
And then Spock is kind of confused here because he says, who knows when that exact time will come when she dies, but we know it's before 1936.
And we know it's a car accident, not falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
We could have just made the print on the newspaper bigger, because they usually put those kind of details in the article and not the headline. But again, I'm no science officer. Oh, what?
So they almost both get killed here.
I'll be back.
So they're crossing the street, and she mentions
Leonard.
and they come out of the I guess he's in the coffee shop.
The mission.
And you know what's amazing? Her action figure was done in that outfit. So if you wanted to recreate her being run over by a truck, she was screen accurate. Man, look at that. That's just
And McCoy's pissed at Kirk.
what a great line from Spock.
There's the album cover.
Okay, even better. Well, it's a 2-album compilation.
So this is this, I guess this is Back to the Future.
Yeah, they come back.
It's like nobody left.
Yeah, they took them a second to make that round trip. So I guess Spock got better at making his calculations based on the recordings.
Well, didn't the Guardian say once you fix it,
They'll be returned.
you'll be returned?
Yeah, but notice they took the trouble to return the clothes they had borrowed. They didn't come back in their 1930s clothes, so they must have kind of had to figure out how to get back. I mean, they both came out in different spots. So did they go back to their original spots? Is that why McCoy came back separately than Kirk and Spock? If I was Kirk and Spock, I'd be sitting there making sure McCoy went through first.
Yeah, and didn't make that left turn at Albuquerque.
Yep. It'd be great. They all came back with 1930 stuff to sell on eBay, you know. I'm going to make a fortune. These are antiquities now. And yeah, the end, you know, just, let's get the hell out of here.
Now, what did Strange New Worlds do with the Guardian?
So they reused a lot of the original voice actor. I believe Bart LaRue did the voice of the Guardian. And I don't remember the sequence, but he was embodied as a person and then became the actual structural Guardian. It was a way of hiding in plain sight. So that added a little like, what are you doing here? And how did you wind up? So maybe that planet isn't even the home planet of the Guardian. They gave it a sentience. And these are some of the pages out of the graphic novel. Like right off the bat, we can see Rand was part of the script. And there
now, what is that at in the top frame?
That
looks
is
like Lord of the Rings characters.
Yeah, those are the guys who controlled the Guardian. The Guardian was not like a self-aware thing at this point, but it was a tool that this civilization had used. And this is from earlier in the story with the drug-dealing crewman and what the guy was experiencing on the bridge while at the helm. And then, of course, the ornament. So this is one of those episodes that definitely kind of seeped into the collective consciousness. The teleplay, which you can get at your local library. The Mega Box kit of the Guardian of Forever, which I have somewhere up on one of the shelves.
It's like the Mega McCoy kit. Or is that Spock?
No, that's McCoy. That's McCoy, yeah.
That's some pretty neat stuff. I mean, it was a great episode.
Yeah, and I'm just sorry that, more hasn't been done with the Guardian. In a lot of the expanded stuff, it's right up there with Talos 4 with the no visitation rule, obviously. But there have been archaeological teams sent to explore the ruins, and there are routinely starships that patrol around that area to make sure nobody is attempting to get there or to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a safe site as designated by the Department of Temporal Investigations. But great concept. I think it's just a solid episode. It's being that it's based in 1930s, I think makes it accessible to a lot of people, that it's not outer space silly sci-fi. And it's a love story. I mean, you got to me a perfect storm of good storytelling, great acting, and it just brings you in emotionally.
I enjoyed it. I would definitely put this in the like you guys in the top 3. It does have a rewatch factor for me, which is something that's not prevalent so far in other than there were a couple where I'll possibly sit down, but I this is one that if it was on TV, watching it if I'm scrolling on Pluto and it comes on and I don't have to, if I'm doing something in the living room, just I'll watch it or have it on in the background.
I think this is also one that you could watch with your significant other who does not want to watch any more Star Trek. Doesn't want to see it on, doesn't want to hear it. But this is one that, you'd sit down and watch and enjoy on a different level.
Yeah. So Deb, out of 10.
Well, because it's my favorite episode, it would be a 10 for me.
No issues with any plot holes or.
Well, when I watched it, I was a kid, so what the hell's a plot hole?
Everything that's made today.
It's called the alternative factor. From beginning to end.
Well, isn't that weird? It's two time travel episodes back to back.
No, it wasn't really time travel. He lied. Remember? Oh,
he wasn't a time traveler?
No, it was from an antimatter universe. Maybe. Possibly. That's what happens when you get a George Costanza alien on there. He can't seem to keep his lie straight. I'm still not over that. How about you? What would you give it?
I put this up around 9.5. I mean, well, in a couple of weeks, once what do we got? One more. And then where does that put us as far as date wise? 11, 18.
I didn't know there'd be a quiz.
Yeah, 11 and then 18.
It's the Friday before Good Friday for the next episode.
That's the 11th, right?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Hold on.
And then the 18th, is that Good Friday? I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I have that day off and I'm taking Monday off.
So
So get back to me and let me know when you would want to do the season 1 tier list, and I'll put that together. And then we'll rank them all.
okay.
We'll battle it out. If you have any Star Trek fans that want to join in and put their 2 cents in as far as where we rate them, the more the merrier.
Come up with some fun categories. Best red shirt death season 1.
Well, there's only been what, 3?
Well, it's about to ramp up. We could do spoiler alert. We could put best villain, best Kirk conquest, best McCoy flip out.
Assassins.
Yeah. I'm still thinking, let's see how fast I can put you in a hospital kind of ranks up there. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the Hippocratic Oath gets thrown out. First, do no harm unless you want to put him in a hospital. But yeah, to me, this is a 9.5 all the way. And whatever plot holes it has can easily be overlooked because of everything else that works in this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Geek and I and Federation Friday. We will see you again possibly next week, depending on the weather. Because it seems, I know, Deb, you had some horrible weather during the week, and we usually get it. We usually get it on the weekends. I haven't, unfortunately, and I'm, you know what? Texas, I am changing up the weather a little bit with the powers that I do have. I'm going to make it rain during the week and not the weekend because my lawn guy is coming Tuesday instead of Friday.
Great.
It's like I live on the lawn on the edge of forever because I got 3-foot tall weeds, branches from trees that are falling down.
Yeah, we haven't started that yet. I'm just starting to see some growth of stuff coming through the ground, but it was 80 the other day and 30 the next day. So, and we're supposed to get all rain tomorrow. So, lots of fun.
Yep. Well, Marty Keeler must die. Debi, thanks for joining us again this week on the Geek and I Federation Friday. We will see you again very, very soon. Don't forget to how does everybody do it? Like, subscribe, comment. I don't know where they're pointing because I never see anything pop up. But we'll see you guys again. Deb, what do you got coming up this week?
Monday we're talking Daredevil over on MCU Monday at Feast of Fandoms, and Thursday I believe we are talking It's a Trap, Family Guy episode.
That's a trap.
They're always fun to watch.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, and remember to live long and prosper. Live long in Prosper, Texas. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Take it easy, guys.